Anyway, welcome to. Okay, this is my final stream for today. Modestas Bukauskas versus Ian Cutelaba. In all honesty, I don't know why Modestas Bukauskas is the favorite in this particular fight. Maybe I'm reading the wrong odds. Um, Maybe the fight might be close. Maybe it's because Ian Cutelaba is not particularly consistent. But looking at this fight from where I'm standing, I think Ian Cutelaba should actually win this fight, especially considering his previous performance. I genuinely think Ion Cutelaba should actually definitely win this fight. By the way, I forgot to actually mention the picks for the previous breakdown that I was doing for Jessica Andrade versus what do you call it, Jasmine Jesu the VCS. I forgot to actually mention them, but you can see them on the shorts and like they are all over the channel. But back to actually what I was saying. Renier, the Rizlot, I think Molest, I say this every fight he has. Wow. That's insane. I'm not gonna read that word. In any case, I genuinely think he loses this fight. I think Modestas loses this fight. I could be wrong. Let's look at the stock, right? I don't think anyone is going to have a reach advantage in this particular fight. I think Ion Cutelaba has more volume as far as striking. I think Ion Cutelaba has a bit more power. I think Ion Cutelaba is better defensively as far as striking goes. As far as the grappling goes, I think Ion Cutelaba is going to be a little bit better defensively and offensively. I think Cutelaba shoots so many takedowns that I genuinely think he's going to have an advantage wherever this fight might play out. If it stays standing, I can see Ion Cutelaba winning a decision or getting a knockout. If it goes to the ground, I don't see Modestas Bukauskas taking down Ion Cutelaba. Even when you look at the finishes independently, like even if when you look at their finishes, Ian Cutelaba has a higher finishing percentage. So for me personally, it's hard to see why people are picking Modestas Bukauskas, especially also because both of them are on a two-fight winning streak. Like it's not like Modestas Bukauskas is on this incredibly long streak. He's been knocking out the most talented prospects or the most talented fighters in the light heavyweight division. So for me personally, I honestly can't see why a lot of people are picking Modestas Bukauskas, but I guess we'll find out. I just think on the feed, Ion Cutelaba is going to be better. He has more volume. He has better defense. On the ground, Ion Cutelaba, both of them have pretty decent takedown defense. But offensively, Ion Cutelaba shoots probably four times more takedowns than what do you call him, Modestas Bukauskas. So if anyone is going to take the fight to the ground, it's probably going to be Ion Cutelaba. So I think this is going to be a very short breakdown video because I honestly cannot make the argument for Modestas Bukauskas to actually get this one done because I think I can't see an advantage for him in this particular fight. Maybe I'm not seeing what everyone is seeing. Maybe I'm a little bit blind. Who knows? I could be wrong. But in this particular situation, I honestly can't see a path to victory for Modestas Bukauskas. On the feed, I can't justify saying Modestas is going to win. How is he going to win? I don't think he's a technical striker. And even though Ian Cutelaba is not a technical striker either, I think his volume is going to be important in this kind of fight. Defensively, I don't think Modestas Bukauskas is better defensively. He gets hit a bit more than Ion Cutelaba, even though Ion Cutelaba is inconsistent, but I feel like he's going to be better defensively. I still stand by what I'm saying. On the ground, I still feel like Ion Cutelaba is better. Like it's hard for me to actually say, okay, maybe Modestas Bukauskas might win the striking exchanges. The only way I see Modestas Bukauskas winning is if Ion Cutelaba guesses out. To be honest, um, Renier, there is lot. Nah, I think Modestas has better technical striking. Yeah, for me, I disagree to some extent, but even with technical striking, that's why I said, for me, I don't see the technicality. I could be crazy, but I don't see the technicality. But even with that, I genuinely just feel like Ian Gutelaba's volume and defense is going to be enough to actually give him an advantage on the feet. I guess we'll see. I actually remember saying something similar about Ibo Aslan, but I was referring to his grappling, right? And I also picked Ibo Aslan in that particular fight. I can't remember who he was fighting, but I actually raised the fact that I'm a little bit worried about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it actually ended up happening. Ibo Aslan ended up losing. I genuinely don't see what people are seeing in Modestas Bukauskas. I guess we'll just have to find out when the fight happens, but I don't really think he should be a favorite, to be honest. I genuinely think it should be Ion Kudelaba, but I guess we'll just find out. Let me see. Renier Derisla, Kudelaba lost and looked to trash against Philippe Lins. That's the thing about Kudelaba, right? He's very inconsistent. And I get why people don't actually trust him to actually get this one done. Who, although is good, I don't think is better than Modestas. Okay, fair point. Renier Derisla. Aslan is a bum, and Aslan had a huge hole in his grappling game. Okay, okay, but like I said, I'm not overlooking Modestas Bukauskas. I just personally, when I do breakdowns, I like to highlight. I like to highlight the advantages and disadvantages of each fighter. In this fight, I don't see the advantages for Modestas Bukauskas. Unfortunately, I don't think he's gonna be better defensively. I think Kudelaba is going to win the striking exchanges because of volume. On the ground, I think both of them have good takedown defense, but I would give a slight advantage to Ion Kudelaba. So I don't see Modestas Bukauskas taking down Ion Kudelaba. Ion Kudelaba shoots so many takedowns that I think if the fight ever goes to the ground, it's going to be Ion Kudelaba on top. I don't think Modestas has like a reach advantage. Like it's a 1 inch reach advantage, which is not an advantage. Finishing ability, it's Ion Kudelaba. Like I honestly cannot bring myself to give him any sort of an advantage. But like I said, I could be wrong. It's possible. So I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. Um, on the other hand, you have Modesta who is training every day at Tom Aspinall's heavyweight gym with good coaches and teammates. Nah, fam, you know I respect what you're trying to say, but McParkin is also training with Tom Aspinall, and he lost to Marcin Tybura, if I'm not mistaken, right? Marcin Tybura, but again, McParkin, if I'm not mistaken, McParkin actually lost to Marcin Tybura not so recently, not so long ago. So training with a top athlete doesn't really mean much. I mean, what's his name? The guy who was being ragdolled by Thomas Peterson. He trains with John Jones, doesn't he? Train with John Jones. I think that guy trains with Dontel Mays. I think Dontel Mays trains with John Jones, but he's trash, and which is crazy when you consider the fact that John Jones is a wrestler. So training with someone who wrestles that heavy should make you a little bit better as far as grappling. So for me personally, I'm not going to put too much stock into who he trains with. There are specific gyms that if someone if someone is training in that particular gym, I'll be worried. Like for example, whoever is training in the Islam Makhashev's gym, I'll be worried. If someone is training with Bilal Muhammad, I'll be worried. If someone is training with the fighting nerds, I'll be worried. There are few gyms that I would worry about, not all of them. Even if you're training at American Top Team, I'm not going to take that and say I'm worried because a lot of their fighters have lost. You know, despite the fact that they are training in that particular gym. So in this particular situation, training with Tom Aspinall to me means nothing because Mick Parkin also trains with Tom Aspinall, and he still lost. So let me actually respond to your other comment. Let me see. Tommy, have an amazing rest of your day, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you. Renier the Lord, I guess you could say that Ion somehow improved since losing to Lens, but I'm not sure. He's always up and down in his career, and this time I think he has a down spike and goes on a two-fight losing streak. That's possible. Um, Ira Vlog, hi, I am Indian. Welcome. Renier, there is a lot. McParkin isn't that bad, and I think he got robbed against Taipura, but he still lost, though. In all honesty, he still lost. Renier, there is a lot. Mays has always been a bum, though. He probably doesn't even show up half the time. Rene Dereslot, you make a good point. Training with the fighting nerds doesn't automatically make you elite. Look at Bruna Brazil and Kenan Kruchevsky. Yeah, and I heard that Thiago Moises also trains there, but I think it's a recent thing, so I guess maybe let's see how that impacts him. But there are specific teams that I know if you're training there, it's gonna be a problem. I know whoever's fighting that particular person is gonna have a bad night, right? So training with Tom Aspinall for me is not that important, to be honest, because like I said, and even if you might feel like Taipura won a robbery, it's fine, but he still lost, and it was still a close fight. And in this particular fight, let's say that's your argument. This is gonna be a close fight. I'm still gonna go with the guy who I feel like is gonna have more volume. I'm gonna go with the guy who I think is gonna be the better defensively as far as striking goals. I'm going to go with the guy who has fought elite competition. Ion Cutelaba has faced some of the best light heavyweights. So according to me, better than Modestas Bukauskas. I'm going to go with the guy who shoots an insane number of takedowns. I'm going to go with the guy who has good takedown defense. I'm trying to find an advantage for Modestas Bukauskas. I can't. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I guess we'll find out on fight night. Join me live for live watch-alongs. Those are pretty incredible. So yeah, this concludes my breakdown for this card. My subscribers went with Modestas Bukauskas. I went with Ion Cutelaba. On the previous fight that I was breaking down, I went with Jessica and George. My subscribers went with Jasmine Jesu Davicius. If you want to watch all my breakdowns, go to the live section of the channel. All my breakdowns, including this one, is going to be there, and even my previous breakdowns. If you're new to the channel, go to the video, go to the short section, and even the community section. Every part of this channel is pretty active. I'm selling the Once Upon a Slugfest T-shirt worldwide. It's no longer limited to the United States. I'm going to be releasing a video this Friday to actually promote that particular T-shirt. It looks amazing. Go to the community section if you want to see that particular T-shirt. It's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to be releasing new T-shirts every single week, and they're going to be available on the link I provided. Sell a Once Upon a Diddy Fest T-shirt, and I'll buy. Dude, why do you want to get me into trouble, dude? Like, Once Upon an Oil Fest. You know what? I'm going to make the Once Upon an Oil Fest. The Diddy one, I'm not gonna touch that one. But Once Upon an Oil Fest, I'll look into it. I'll try to see. Maybe I might design something for next week. But I would appreciate you guys' support, man. I'm still figuring out the logistics of delivering the t-shirts globally. I'm trying to partner with courier companies and trying to see how I can limit the cost of delivery. But they are currently available. You can actually buy right now. So yeah, I love and appreciate all of you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for the support. Until next time, deuces.